guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to create a base for you guys that I like to wear every day. I understand it might not be an everyday makeup look for an average person, however I do like a bit of a fuller base, so this is what I tend to go with every day. Hope you enjoy. So let's get started with a little bit of hydration. It's really vital to cleanse your face before you do any foundation application. I find that it makes the foundation last a lot longer, and your skin just works a lot better, so like you have a better surface to apply foundation to. So I've already cleansed my face. I used Napoleon Purtis Donkey Milk hydrating milk cleanser, and now I'm going to go in and hydrate. So I use the multi-hydration gel cream, and don't think you can really see that, but multi-hydration gel cream from Napoleon Purtis. So it's like a gel-like formula. It's probably something that you may not have seen before. It's absolutely amazing. I don't know that you're going to be able to see that anyhow. It is like a gel. Really amazing. Has soluble collagen in it, and I feel like as I'm getting older I can use as much collagen as possible. So I'm back with my 17S, and I literally just apply that all over my face. You could use your fingers if you wanted to. I just prefer to use a brush for this today anyways. Cool. So all over. Give it a couple of seconds to absorb, especially if you're naturally oily. You don't want to have too much residue on the skin. So after your multi-hydration gel cream, or any hydrator that you use, whether it be a moisturizer or a serum, has absorbed into the skin, then we're going to move on to a primer. So at the moment I'm really loving the Napoleon Purtis Brightening Skin Primer. I use it quite a bit in my tutorials. I think it's amazing for my skin, and it smells really good. So pop it on. It is purple. So again, if you find that your skin is a little sallow-like, a little bit yellow, the purple colour in the primer will actually help to counteract that out and neutralise it. So same brush, I'm just going to apply my primer all over my face. So this primer is perfect for someone with dry to normal skin tone. Skin type, sorry. If you are oily, you might want to use something like this just through the T-zone. So this is called your Pore Minimizer Mattifier, and you would just change your brush and pop it through the T-zone. But I'll show you that in another tutorial another day. All over. Alright, cool. So we're going to get to foundation now. Back to my 24R. This is another Napoleon Purtis brush. It's foundation brush. Absolutely amazing and very quick and easy to work with. So I'm going to use my Stroke of Genius foundation again because I absolutely love it. It's amazing. I'm going to use a look 1 and a look 4 mixed together. So you definitely don't have to ever mix the foundation. I just prefer to. So I'm just mixing that all together, about this colour, and taking it off my hand. I apply all my foundation to my hand. I use my hand as a palette, I always have. And then I'm just applying that all over. So like I said guys, I like a thicker base. And I don't like the word thick, but that's what it is. That's a full base. All over. You'll notice I will leave a goggle mark, so I won't take that foundation right up to my eyes. I will use a concealer in that area. Concealer doesn't have SPF in it, so if you are sensitive with your eyes, you can probably stop blaming your mascara. It's probably the foundation under your eyes, and swap your foundation out for a concealer and see if that helps. Another benefit to using concealer under the eyes is that we're actually aiming to counteract any darkness that falls under the eyes, as opposed to put 10 ton of foundation there and cover it up. So that's really good. Alright, cool. So now that foundation is where I want it to be, it's the coverage that I want, I'm going to move on to concealer. So I use a concealer by Estee Lauder. It's a double wear concealer. However, I mix it with a Napoleon Purtis concealer as well. So the Napoleon Purtis concealer is called the One, and it's the original one. It is kind of like a salmon-y colour. I don't know how good that's going to come out, but it helps counteract the darkness under the eyes. So if you are really dark under the eyes, you're probably throwing deep blues and purple tones. So the orange or a yellow concealer will definitely help counteract that. I like to mix the two together. So these two here, I'm going to mix together because I don't want that orange too strong. So I'm going to use my 16B brush as a concealer brush. Your typical concealer brush would probably look something like this. It's synthetic. However, I like to use something that's Sable, which is a natural hair brush. I find it applies a lot easier. You don't use as much product, and it actually helps buff it into the skin. So this now is actually quite orange, but because it's counteracting, you really can't see the orange at all. So just a little patting motion. I will use a brush to apply the concealer and then go back with my ring finger and actually pat it in. So the reason why I do that is because there's quite a bit of heat in your finger, and that will help mold it into the skin a lot better. So just blending that. Concealer is a great idea for the mobile lid. It also works as an awesome base for your eyeshadow. I find it doesn't set as strong as a foundation, so it tends to grab the eyeshadow a little bit better. Cool. If you find your concealer is still creasing, it might be that you've either A, applied too much, or B, not set it properly. So there is products on the market. I know Napoleon Purtis have a product called Close Up Camera Finish Powder, and it literally feels like satin. So if you're one of these people that don't want to put powder under your eyes because you feel like it makes it cakey, that is definitely a product to try. Or any other brand that has like a light translucent powder will be fine. You don't have to put it all over your face, but I would always recommend to set your concealer with powder. Once something's dry, it won't crease anymore. I'm going to now set my foundation, my concealer, with Napoleon Purtis Camera Finish in the shade G1. As you can tell, it's definitely my favorite color. I use it every day, and I just find that it's like kind of translucent, but it still gives you the yellow undertone that I want, that I need. So I'm just getting my powder brush. This powder brush is an S25. So I'm going to go in with my Camera Finish G1 now and just set all over. So when I do my powder, a really vital step is to just kind of press it onto the face. I don't really recommend to do any of this kind of business because that's actually moving the liquid. If we press it on, we're setting it. A lot of makeup artists refer to it as beating their face. You don't actually have to physically beat yourself. Just press it on nice and lightly all over. I like to dust it down the neck a little bit. A lot of makeup artists won't put it down the neck, however I like to. After you have set it, feel free to do little swelling motions just to polish it. It's all set now, so it won't move. Now I'm going to use the exact same powder, change my brush. This again is my 16B, and just pat the powder underneath the eye. Also remember to set on top so it doesn't crease. And we're starting to get somewhere. So now I'm going to go ahead and contour. I like to do a powder contour. Later I will show you how to do a bristle on my face. And it's not going off. Later I'll show you how to do a liquid contour, but I definitely prefer a powder contour. It's quicker, it's easier. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So my little maybe signature or favorite technique is to use two colors. So I'm going to start off with Camera Finish N4 and start to contour just really lightly. So contouring is shading, highlighting and blushing all together. So this is now the shading step. So when you apply your shade, you should measure it out as a general rule, and it won't apply to everyone, but it's a good general rule to stick by. Put your brush on the top of your ear, roll it on your face till it hits you in the lip, and that's the angle. It doesn't mean that we take it all the way down to our lip. We do stop at the outer corner. So this part here is where we'll contour. Shade, if you will. So let's do that. I definitely love a fuller contour, a little bit more intense. Just bring it back as much as you want. The main idea of this is to create a shadow underneath the cheekbone, okay? So this isn't bronzing, this is purely just putting shape in the face. So I just lightly dust around the jawbone. Be really careful when you do this if it's the first time you've done it, because you don't want to look like you have a makeup line. So just little polishing motions and a small amount of product to start with, and then you can go back and add more. Cool, so do that. Buff it up into the cheek if you want to, if you've got too much product there. Just kind of keep this line as straight as possible. If you feel like you've kind of got it a little bit cray-cray, just bring it back with your foundation brush. It's only makeup, it's not permanent. You can fix it really easy. And then I'm all about that forehead contour. I like to think that I don't have a big forehead. I just like to do this. But I mean, if you did feel like you had a little bit of a bigger forehead, contouring a forehead will push it back and make it appear a lot smaller. I feel like there's so much going on down here that a little bit of love to the forehead doesn't go astray. My hair's getting a little crazy. Alright, sweet. So the second step to my shading is the N5 now. So in the Napoleon Purtis range, this is the darkest colour. And what I'm going to do now is go in on a thinner scale and kind of really chip into that contouring. So this is definitely a more intense contour, okay? It's probably something that, like I said at the start, the average person wouldn't wear every day. However, I love it. So I'm just loading my brush, and now I'm actually going to pinch the roots of my brush to make it a little bit thinner. And then I'm just going to dab and like get that in there. Okay, if it's a bit crazy at first, like that looks a bit crazy, we can go back and blend it, so don't stress. Get that happening. You might want to work the jaw a little bit more intense, and you might want to work the hairline a little bit more intense as well. I never contour my nose, I don't really like it, but if you were going to contour your nose, I would just stay with the N4, the first colour I used, with my smaller brush, and just go down the bridge, the side of the bridge of the nose, and kind of connect it into under the brow. If you felt like your nose was too long, you just colour in that tip. Okay. But you'll never really see me contour my nose. Alright, so let's go back and just kind of polish this up. So I'm still pinching the bristles, and I'm just polishing that up into the cheekbone. So I'm not polishing it down, it's going up. Cool. It's pretty intense contour, but that's what I want. Alright, so let's get the blush. I might use this color here. So this is Model's Preferred Blush. I can never open it, but I just did, so that's okay. And it looks a little bit like the NARS blush Orgasm. So that's what originally drew me to it, and it is actually pretty cool. So bit of a smile going on, and then I like to bring it up the cheek. So when I do my blush, I kind of explain it as like a Nike tick, so like down, and then I follow it all the way up. So it should just kind of softly blend into the shade. But I'm not a real big blush person, so if you are, maybe just pump it up a little bit more and get it happening. Like, I feel like I went a bit crazy there, so I'm just going to take that back. Alright, and now we're going to do our Samantha Jade highlight kit. This little baby, I got it from Priceline. It was super cheap, but it's really effective. And the first day I wore it, I got 3 compliments on my highlights, so it's worth its money. So I'm going to use this color here and this color here. So I start off with the darker shade and just literally tap that on. Get a little bit of a highlight going on. And then on the other side as well. Then just lightly go over it with the lightest color, which is the white. La, 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 la. Cool. Cupid's bow, which is this part of the lip. Do the exact same there. Exact same down the bridge of the nose. Not into the highlight on the tip of the nose, so I'm not going to do that, but go ahead if that's something that you like. And then just in the center of the forehead, just to help give some dimension, a little bit on the chin too. So guys, highlighting are things, you highlight when you want to bring something forward. So if you're a bit insecure about your chin or your forehead, don't highlight it, just leave it. Because highlighting is bringing it forward, making it noticeable. If you have crow's feet, Mitch will go away. So like I was saying, if you have crow's feet, you wouldn't highlight in that area because it's obviously going to draw attention to it. Okay, so just highlight a bit lower. Alright, cool. So once we're pretty happy with our base, I'm going to go in and do my eyebrows. I'm literally just going to put a powder through my brows. Normally I'll do a bit of like a gel or something, but feeling the powder lately. So what I have is an Napoleon Purtis brow kit. You've got a light colour, like a taupey colour, then a brown, and then you have a wax. Wax is really good to kind of tame those curly brows, so I'll use that last. So I'm just going to put the lighter taupier colour through the brows. And we don't want to go straight in with the darker color yet. The darker color will help us build definition and kind of fill in gaps where we need to, so we'll leave that to the last step. And you'll notice that I just kind of always apply the first bit of product to the bottom of the brow and then bring it up. And notice that my pinky's on resting on my face. That helps me stabilize my hand. So even with my experience or any makeup artist experience, I find if they're not stabilizing themselves, if they're just going in willy-nilly, it can be a little bit hard to get a straight line or like a consistent even application. So with my brows, I like to go for quite a good amount of definition at the bottom of the brow, and then I just like a little bit raw up the top. If you like a lot of definition on the top too, you would just kind of go through and fill it on the top as well. So now I'm using my darker brown and I'm just lightly tapping it into spots that are a little gappy. I don't actually use it through all of the brow. Cool. And then we'll do this side. This brow is my like ugly stepsister brow, so she needs a little bit more attention. But we get there. We're getting there. Cool, and like there's pretty much no product on my brush now. I just wiped off my hands and I just want to make sure that they're all kind of standing how I want them to. And then with the back of my brush, I just scrape a little bit of the wax off, pop it on the back of my hand and kind of do that. It warms it up so it works easier in the hair. With the same brush, I just get a little bit of the wax. Don't go crazy because it will you'll see white in your brows, and that's kind of not on trend at the moment. So I'm just doing that. So you see how my brush touches the roots first and then I bring it up, and I'm just kind of setting that brow in place how I want it to. Now feel free to, you can apply your gel first if you want to. There's no rule about this, but I find that I've changed to applying the wax last lately. I might go back to the other way one day, but for now this is good. Cool. Nice. And just remember guys, your brows, they're sisters, they're not twins, so don't kind of freak out if they're not exactly the same. It's all good. Alright guys, so to finish my look for today, I'm going to go back to my N4, the first contouring colour that I used, with my 10-hour brush, my absolute favourite brush. You'll see me use this in every tutorial. I'm going to pick up some product and hit the windscreen wipers and go back and forward, 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 until you figure out how you want it. So I just applied a little bit more product and I'm again going back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. When I get to the outer corner of the eye, I'm going to start doing my little circles in and then switch directions and my little circles out. So guys, remember that your bristles on this brush shouldn't bend. You are literally tickling the skin, okay? So windscreen wiper, windscreen wiper, windscreen wiper, and then a little bit more product, windscreen wiper, windscreen wiper. Cool. And then I'm just going to do my little circles, tickling the skin. So if my bristles bend like that, I'm going to poke my eye out, but I'm also going to put product up here, and we know what that. We just want it lightly in the crease of the socket of the eye. And then if you want to lightly just run it underneath the eye for a little bit more definition, just to finish it off. You don't have to do that. A lot of people don't like to put product, dark product under their eyes. I prefer it because I feel like it disguises the like wrinkly skin under my eyes, but each to their own. Cool. So really easy, and it's like a 2-second eye. The main part is the base. We'll get a mascara. So Napoleon Purtis Matte & Beyond, love it. Gives length, and then 3 coats will give you thickness. So just applying it. I really like to tilt my head back when I'm applying it so you can kind of see the roots of the lash and bring it up. If you get your mascara on your face like I just did, it's not the end of the world. Like I said, makeup isn't permanent, although we wish it was. It's not. So literally just get a little brush, a bit of primer, get a primer, and then just like rub it out. Good. So primer is a perfect eraser, okay, and I just used a little synthetic brush. Easy. Cool. I hope you guys enjoy. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next video.